Hi, I'm Scott Reynolds with Thrize. Now, ever since Adobe announced the end of life for Business Catalyst, I've received a lot of questions about what platform I'm going to move on to and what I think about PlatformOS. I've been holding back my opinion until I had a chance to get to know PlatformOS a little bit better. And I've been fortunate enough to have had early access, which has given me time to learn some of the basics. And it didn't take long to do some of the more simple, obvious stuff, like making a simple page with a header, a footer, maybe some images. But after I got through the very basics, my first goal was to learn more about forms. Knowing how forms works is really important if you're going to make a big decision like moving your entire company over to a certain system. And even the most basic sites have at least a submission form. So I thought it would be important to learn how forms worked in PlatformOS. And I thought a good challenge would be to attempt moving forms from a Business Catalyst site to this new system. Now, when I create a form in Business Catalyst, I obviously use the form builder that's built in, but I also use the Foundation Form Layout app that I built for Business Catalyst. So I decided to use this as a migration tool, or at least to test out the idea of using this as a migration tool to take a form from Business Catalyst and put it into PlatformOS. Now, the biggest challenge when migrating forms is that there's a lot missing in the web form API in Business Catalyst. You can't get things like extended CRM fields, which is obviously very important. But I came up with a way around that. So I'm going to quickly show you the form layout app, but that's not the main focus of this video. And then I'll show you what happens when we put a form into PlatformOS. So just quickly, let's make a form. We'll call it a test form. Save. We'll take out the fraud protection. We'll leave first, last, and email in, and we'll just add a couple of fields. Let's put in a test field. So we'll call this test field. Let's say test field 1. And let's just make sure we can get to an extended CRM field. We have one that says test field. Maybe I'll change the name of this one. We'll call it test field 2 to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so that's good enough for a test. Now let's go over to the layouts and we'll create a layout. And we'll also call this, let's say, test form layout. I'll select a form. We'll just select the one we just made called test form. And it instantly creates a form and styles it in default Foundation. Now there's a lot of different things you can do, like a lot of different functionality and layout. So if you wanted to change this, let's say from a single layout with the labels on top, you wanted it let's say labels on the left, you could do that. Let's just hit save and look, and now they're on the left. Let's say we want it 2 columns, we could do that. So now we have 2 columns. Let's say we want to change first name and last name to full name, and we want to keep the title, and that's good. So we'll just see how this looks. So as you can see, it changes depending on the layout that you want, making it really easy to create a sophisticated form quickly. So let's see, I'm going to give it back. I'm going to remove the title and separate the first and last name. I also want to show you how this can dynamically work when you create a regular test form. So let's say we want to move the home phone number under test field 2. Right, so I just do that. I can go back, hit save to refresh it, and you'll see now test field 2 is here and phone number is down here. So it's dynamic and automatically works with the regular form builder. Okay, so how do we get this over to PlatformOS? So I created a section, and it has one button. We're going to click export, and yes, we do want to export, and we're going to open up the develop mode. And what that did is it just created a folder called Marketplace Builder, and it has these other folders, and these other folders is how PlatformOS is set up. So it'll make it really easy to be able to move the files from BC into PlatformOS. And I can open these and you can see the different files. So One determines the fields, one sets up the form, and the other one is the email notification, like an autoresponder. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to FTP, I'm just going to get it. So I'm going to pull these files down, and then I'm going to put it into the PlatformOS. So I just pulled the files down from the Business Catalyst site onto my local drive, and I just dragged them over to my PlatformOS project. Now I just need to get those files up into my PlatformOS staging website. And so I'm just going to do that now. And so this part's a little bit different than the normal FTP that you're probably used to with Business Catalyst, but it's really not very difficult. And let's go back to the browser. Okay, we're going to go to our site where our form should render, refresh. Now we have our form, and I'll just fill it out. Hit submit, and there we go. So it successfully submitted. Now if I try to submit it without filling anything out, and I get these error messages. And if I try to fill this out, an email form, it's more specific, right? That it's invalid. And if I give it my email address again, that goes away, but it keeps the other one. So you can get really specific with your error messages. Also, this is the email that I received, the autoresponder. This was actually generated from the app, but you could actually go into any of these files and adjust them. All right, so that's the email. And let's just do one more thing just to kind of show you how easy this is. So maybe instead of a 2-column layout, maybe we could just do single. Let's save that. And let's change the button from submit to submit my form. Let's make it a large button. And let's make it hollow. So save. And this is what it should look like. And let's go back to export and export it again. We'll go in here and we will refresh. And this time we have all the right files. The only thing that we would really need to change is how the form was laid out. So I'm just going to go in here and copy this. And let's open up Visual Studio and go to Form Configurations, Test Form Layout, which is the form that we just did. And I'm just going to paste it right in there. Hit save, and we'll just deploy again. And if you're not used to working like this, it takes a little getting used to, but once you have it down, it's really easy to do. It's a little bit different than FTPing. Let's see if that worked. Let's go back a couple and refresh. And so now we have our form again that's laid out a little bit different. So what do I think this is good for? I think, first of all, it's a good sign that migrating from Business Catalyst to PlatformOS is possible. I know other partners are working very hard on making that happen as well. I also think things like this, even though this is done automatically for you, it's probably better to do things on your own and to learn how to customize the code yourself and not have to rely on a tool like this. But I think this could be a good learning tool and maybe speed things up so there are less mistakes and that sort of thing. So I still can't give a full opinion of PlatformOS because I still have much to learn about some of the other features. But when I do, I'm happy to share my thoughts. So far, what I've seen is really great, really powerful, really flexible. Really, the only thing for a lot of Business Catalyst partners is not a lot of proper visual tools, but that will come in time. Also, I'd highly recommend to maybe take this opportunity to try to up your game a bit, either yourself or if you're not a developer, maybe hiring one that can handle more customization and flexibility and a little bit more modern way of building websites.